Alright guys, in this video I'm going to go over a few of the tools that we find in vector.com. As you can see, your tools are on the left right here. The rectangle tool is the first one, the rounded rectangle, the circle, the pen tool, which by the way is called the Bezier tool as well. The pencil tool we won't use much, but it's definitely an option. And then there's the text tool, upload image, and there's more shapes, lots of other shapes. All right, and also go through like the options right here. So in the shapes, and any of the shapes that you choose, you click and drag to either make it bigger or smaller, make it wider or taller. And if you hold shift when you're doing that, you actually get a perfect square, or for the circle, for example, you'll get a perfect circle, meaning that the width and the height are the same. All right, the pen tool, the way the pen tool works, it works off of something called vector, which is uh, basically like point A to point B, and then the magnitude between both of those points. I know that sounds very scientific, but you click to put a point, and then you click to put another point, and you could create your own shapes like this, right? A very custom shape. In fact, if you had an image on here, you could trace an image and actually get a custom shape off of that. But straight lines don't always create the best shapes that you want. Sometimes you want an organic shape. So with the pen tool, you click and drag, and this is how you get curved lines. If you see those red things with the balls hanging off of it that determine the kind of like angle that the line goes in, those are called handles. Okay, and when you come all the way back to the end, just like with the other one, you get a straight. Oops, what did I just do? Yeah, when you come back to the beginning, it closes that shape. All right. The type tool, you can click and type anything that you want, like my name. You could select it. I'll show you how to actually edit it afterwards. You could delete that part, and then you could put your last name, for example, or you could do any other things on there. Uploading an image is actually something that you might want to do. Let's say you wanted this image, which I believe I got from Pinterest, I think. If you had this image, and again, hold shift if you want to keep everything in perfect proportions. If you wanted to outline something, right, like create a silhouette, you can. As you're going through, yes, curve this part, curve that part, right? And again, there's more shapes in there. I'm going to actually delete this. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this. And I'm just going to show you how to now navigate the bar right here on the side. So, for example, text. You could choose any font you want. There's a huge selection, actually. If you see right there, a huge selection of fonts that you could pick from. You could also increase the font size. You could increase. Some of the fonts have different forms of it, like bold, italic. I'm trying to think what else they have on here. They don't all have the same options. These are all having normal. But you have that part. You also have the line height, which you won't be able to see here. But let me give you something. What you make of it. Okay. So I wrote text is what you make of it. And now when I select it, you can see what the line height actually does. I'm decreasing the line height, which actually is called leading. Leading is the space between like one line or the other, or a big body of text like a paragraph or something like that. And then you have the letter spacing, right? That's called kerning actually, but letter spacing on vector. And that's just increasing the space between one letter and the other, right? Since the idea is to actually make something more legible, you definitely want to keep a little bit of space in between. So the background color is actually the color of the text itself. The border color is exactly what it sounds like. An Illustrator is actually called stroke, but you could have a stroke. It sounds weird. You can have a stroke on text, And in this case, let me make it a different color. There you go. You could see it on there a little bit. That's not good. It's usually not good. Adding a stroke onto something is not the best. These little check marks right here, you could either see it or not see it. So it has a border right now, but I'm hiding that border. If you wanted to do something that looks more, what is it, like outlines it, I think sometimes shadow works pretty well. In Illustrator, there are other options. You could change on this, by the way, you could change like the positioning of it. The one thing that I don't see is actually the color of it. So when people are trying to do
snack a bunch.
When people are trying to highlight text, sometimes they do add a shadow. That is not the best technique to do. What I like to do is to actually, let me see.
Dad, come on, my lunchbox.
I'm on something. All right, I'm just adding multiple shadows in here. Here. What I would do is actually create a duplicate of it, and then I could change the color of it and have it slightly off. All right. That's a quick overview of it. I will also say these are your layers. You could hide your layers. You could delete a layer. You could change a lot of things on here. And then you have pages, which if you think of a book, you just have multiple pages on there. All right. Hope that helps.